04:23 a.m. local time. Satellite systems detect ballistic missile launch. Command center goes silent. Every screen shows the same trajectory. Incoming. 6 minutes to potential impact. This is Global Conflict Room, where global war decisions are made. The detection comes from 3 satellite clusters simultaneously. Infrared signatures match known missile profiles. Launch point confirmed in hostile territory. Target projection, major population center. Command has 360 seconds to decide. Verify the threat. Order interception, prepare retaliation, or recognize a false alarm. The problem is the data. Systems show contradictions. Satellite Alpha confirms launch. Satellite Bravo shows thermal anomaly. Satellite Charlie reports system malfunction. Ground radar stations have not acquired targets yet. Communication links experience unusual latency. Cyber warfare teams report suspicious network activity detected 40 minutes before the alert. Is this a technical glitch? Is this a coordinated cyber attack designed to create confusion? Or is this the opening move of actual war? The room fills with senior officers. Defense Secretary arrives. Joint Chiefs convene by secure link. President is being moved to secure location. Every protocol activates simultaneously. Strategic bombers receive alert orders. Submarine commanders open sealed authentication packages. Missile defense batteries go to highest readiness. Allied nations receive preliminary warning through secure channels. The global system moves toward war footing, all because of data that might be wrong. What should Command do first? A. Intercept. B. Strike back. C. Hold fire. History shows the danger of this moment. In 1983, Soviet systems detected 5 American missiles launching. Lieutenant Colonel Stanislav Petrov was on duty. He had minutes to report the attack up the chain. His report would trigger Soviet retaliation. Petrov judged it a false alarm. He was correct. Satellite systems had mistaken sunlight reflecting off clouds for missile launches. His decision prevented nuclear war. In 1995, Norway launched a scientific research rocket. Russian radar detected it. Russian President Boris Yeltsin opened the nuclear briefcase for the first time in history. Launch crews awaited orders. The rocket trajectory became clear. It was heading away from Russia, not toward it. Crisis ended. 4 minutes had passed. In this scenario, Command faces the same impossible choice. Trust the system, or trust human judgment. Technical systems are designed to be reliable. They filter false positives. They cross-reference multiple data sources, but they can be deceived. Cyber attacks can inject false data. They can create phantom launches. They can make defense systems see threats that do not exist. What happens next determines the next decade. The intelligence officer presents analysis. 3 previous false alarms occurred this year. March, satellite malfunction created phantom launch signature. June, solar flare interfered with infrared detection. September, software update caused processing error. Each time systems were corrected. Each time confidence decreased slightly. The risk is normalization. When false alarms become routine, Command might dismiss a real threat. The opposite risk is overreaction. When tension runs high, Command might respond to a false alarm as if it were real. Both outcomes are catastrophic. To -4 minutes to projected impact. Ground radar still shows nothing, but missiles in boost phase are harder to track. They could appear on radar in the next 90 seconds, or they might never appear. Defense systems are ready to engage. Interceptor missiles can launch in 45 seconds. They need 180 seconds to reach intercept point. The decision window is closing. Commander of Strategic Command recommends holding fire. Director of National Intelligence says this matches patterns of cyber deception. Secretary of Defense interceptors launched. Each argument has merit. Each decision has consequences. Launching interceptors reveals defensive capabilities. It shows adversaries exactly what the system can do. It burns expensive interceptors on possible phantoms, but it protects millions of lives if the threat is real. Holding fire preserves operational security. It avoids showing the enemy what defenses exist. It prevents wasteful expenditure, but it leaves population centers undefended if missiles are real. The third option is retaliation. Strategic doctrine calls for launch on warning in some scenarios. The logic is simple. If enemy missiles are in the air waiting for impact, confirmation means your own missiles might be destroyed on the ground. Launch immediately or lose the ability to respond. But retaliation based on ambiguous data risks starting a war that was never intended. It turns a technical error into millions of casualties. It makes the false alarm into a self-fulfilling prophecy of destruction, necessary deterrence, or dangerous escalation. The President comes online. Secure video link from airborne command post. Face calm, but eyes show the weight. Everyone in the room knows this is the decision no leader wants to make. The intelligence community provides updated assessment. Cyber forensics team traced the network anomaly. Source appears to be sophisticated state-level actor. Attack began 73 minutes ago. It targeted satellite ground stations and communication nodes. Purpose seems to be creating exactly this confusion. Make command doubt its sensors. Make them hesitate. Make them vulnerable to real attack hidden in false alarm chaos. Or make them overreact and start a war over nothing. Either outcome serves the attacker. T-minus 2 minutes to impact. Still no ground radar confirmation. Allied nations report their systems show nothing. British early warning radars. Negative. Japanese defense network. Negative. Israeli satellite intelligence. Negative. If missiles were actually in the air, multiple independent systems should detect them. The lack of corroboration suggests false alarm. But sophisticated attacks could blind multiple systems. The room debates rapidly. Voices stay calm, but words come faster. Someone suggests splitting the difference. Launch half the interceptor inventory. Hold the other half in reserve. Prepare but do not execute retaliatory strikes. Which system activates first in a missile alert? A. Radar. B. Satellites. C. Command link. The answer is satellites detect the infrared signature of launch immediately. But the question reveals the complexity of integrated defense. Every system must work together. Break one link and the entire chain fails. This is what cyber warfare targets. Not the missiles themselves, not the launchers, the sensors, the communications, the decision-making process. Turn the defense system against itself. Make it see threats everywhere. Or make it blind to real danger. T-minus 90 seconds. Commander makes the call. Launch interceptors. Do not execute retaliation. Maintain alert status. Continue analysis. The interceptor batteries receive authorization codes. Missiles launch from 3 sites. They arc into the sky toward intercept coordinates. They will arrive at projected threat location in 140 seconds. If enemy missiles exist, the interceptors will engage. If no missiles exist, the interceptors will harmlessly self-destruct over ocean. $400 million in hardware spent on potential Phantom. But that cost is acceptable if it saves even one city. The radar operators watch screens, interceptors tracking normally, still no hostile missile signature. Allied systems still report negative. T-minus 30 seconds to projected impact. If hostile missiles were real, they would be visible now. Every radar in the region would see them. Terminal phase is impossible to hide. The screens stay empty. No hostile missiles, no impact. The satellite signatures were false, created by cyber attack or system malfunction. The investigation will determine which. But in this moment, Command knows one thing. They made the right choice. They protected the population. They avoided starting a war. They spent money but saved lives. The interceptors reach intercept point, find no targets, execute self-destruct protocols. They fall into international waters. Recovery teams will retrieve debris for analysis. The room begins to decompress. Officers start reviewing decisions. What went right? What went wrong? How to prevent this next time? But everyone knows the truth. Next time, the data might be real. Next time, hesitation could be fatal. Next time, the false alarm might be cover for actual attack. This is the impossible position of nuclear command. Perfect decision-making required. Imperfect information provided. Seconds to choose. Decades of consequences. If you follow Global Conflict Analysis Type, GCR, the post-incident analysis begins immediately. Cyber warfare teams trace the attack to its source. They find sophisticated intrusion that began weeks earlier. Attackers positioned themselves in satellite ground station networks. They waited for a moment of maximum tension. Then they triggered false launch signatures, designed to look real enough to cause alert, but ambiguous enough to create doubt. The goal was testing response. How does command react? How quickly do they decide? What thresholds trigger different actions? Every piece of data collected during the crisis helps adversaries plan real attacks. They learn what creates confusion. They learn where command hesitates. They learn what makes defense systems blind. This reconnaissance by ISIS is modern warfare. The strategic implications ripple outward. Allied confidence in the warning system drops. If it can be fooled, once it can be fooled again. Adversaries gain leverage. They can create false alarms at will. They can cry wolf until command stops believing warnings. Then they can launch real attacks. The defense is strengthening verification, multiple independent systems, human judgment at critical points, acceptance that some uncertainty is unavoidable, training that prepares commanders for exactly this scenario. The scenario repeats in war games constantly. Different variables, different data, different pressures, but same core problem. Decide with incomplete information. Decide in seconds. Decide knowing you might be wrong. Was escalation avoidable? Yes. The system worked. Command held fire. Verified threat. Protected population. Could it have gone wrong? Absolutely. Different data. Different timing. Different commander. Same scenario ends in war. Who bears responsibility? The attackers who created false alarm. The system designers who allowed vulnerabilities. The commanders who must choose. Or the reality that perfect defense is impossible. What decision would you make in that room? Subscribe to Global Conflict Room. Inside the room where history changes.